America is deeply divided. There are only two sides to every issue, and there is no interest in finding common ground, not even with members of your own family. But as the 2024 presidential election looms on the horizon, there has never been a more important time to have the necessary conversation. Welcome to the Necessary Conversation, the first show of the new year, other than our last one last week, which was on, I believe, New Year's Day. We had a lot of big developments this week in politics. For those who may be joining us for the first time, this is a show where two liberal adult children have conversations with their parents who are both MAGA, QAnon. What else are you guys?
Pro-Trump, pro-2024.
That was MAGA.
Pro-Americans.
Pro-Americans. My dad is strangely silent. And we have conversations with our parents about the four biggest political issues of the day. Do either of you have a rant to start off today?
We have a segment, remember?
Yes. Last week, I did
Okay.
tell my parents, as I say every week, anyone on the show who wants to send in a topic
Do you have a
can,
rant?
and I will gladly put it in the
Do you have a
show.
rant? Okay.
And my mom has done just that. And we're going to get to that. It's our second topic. She did send me a topic. I took the link she sent me. I'm going to read the exact article she sent me, and then we're going to discuss it. That's in segment number 2. But before we begin the show, my dad is getting his head looked by their dog. We open each program with a question from a listener. If you would like to submit your own question, you just send an email that contains a 1-minute or shorter audio clip with your question. Send that email to thenecessaryconversationpod@gmail.com. Are you guys ready for the opening question?
Always ready.
Hello.
Yes.
Dad and Haley both seem completely asleep. Oh, Haley has frozen. Her connection is freezing out. Can you hear us, Haley?
I can now.
2024 off to a good start. Here we go.
Happy New Year, Kultgens. This is Cody from Indiana, a red state where I attended college and work in the petroleum industry, doing something that is a job not that dissimilar to what Bob did before he retired. Side note, Bob, giant congratulations for that tremendous milestone in your life. Enjoy it. But my question is more asking for your advice. In podcasting, your revenue is generated from your ad space that is indicative of your listenership. So the more people that listen to your show, the more you're receiving for your ad space. But when you say things like, for example, white supremacy is not an ideal, it's a fact, and I have strong moral and personal disagreement with that, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to continue to support an ideal such as that by continuing to listen to the show, but I want to support everybody else. What do I do in this instance? Thank you all very much and have a great Happy New Year.
Thank you, Cody, for that question. Let me answer some of this. You guys can answer it however you like, but I can tell you this. First of all, let's address the amount of money this podcast has made. We have been, there are commercials in this podcast. If you listen to it, you know that. And we host this podcast on a little hosting site. And anytime it says there's an ad opportunity, I click yes. I don't care what that ad is. And we've been doing this podcast for about 1.5 years. We've made a grand total of $322. So it has almost paid for its hosting fees. Almost. So the money is irrelevant. We don't do it for that. We do it because, or at least for me, the reason I like doing this podcast is that I get to talk to my parents once a week for an hour. And I think it has brought our family closer together. That was my stated goal with this in the very beginning. To the second part of your question, Cody, you're talking essentially about being complicit. And I talk about this in another podcast that I do about The Bachelor all the time, that there are things that you morally object to in the creation of that show, but you still like watching the show. How do you reconcile that? The only thing I can tell you is if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. And that's kind of where I'm at in life. If it's something that makes my life better, makes me a little happier, I can tend to look past those things. And certainly you hope it changes. But I would also say there's a kind of third part in this question, which is the idea, and I get this DM a lot. How can you platform ideas like your parents have? How can you give them some space on the internet to say this stuff? Some people ascribe to the idea that you should never platform ideas like the ones my dad says pretty much every week, in quotes, platform. Again, not a lot of people are generating revenue for this podcast. Our audience is a small audience, so I don't know if the platform is that big, but I also just don't agree with that philosophically. I think that everyone should be able to say whatever they want to say, and it's up to the person listening to it to determine if it's something they want to hear or not. I really think that like keeping especially attitudes like the one my dad has about a lot of stuff, keeping them in the dark or saying you cannot express these views, I think is dangerous for the person trying to express the views and also dangerous for the general public to be able to kind of ignore that they exist at all. I personally don't subscribe to that. No offense to anyone who does, but that's where I stand on it. What do you guys think?
What's our guy's name here?
Cody Hauber.
Cody. Okay, Cody Howard. First of all,
Be nice.
you're way too young to be at my level in oil and gas, and especially in the trading.
He didn't say he was
In the
at your
trading
level. He said he did something similar to what you do.
Be nice.
Well, he doesn't do what I did. I
Be
guarantee
nice.
you, he's no trader.
Be nice.
And I'm going to tell you another thing.
Be nice.
These guys that come out of Indiana are not red. Indiana is a blue.
He didn't say he was red.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
He said he was like me.
Be nice.
He's got to be red.
Okay.
Anyway, all I'm saying is 90% of what came out of his mouth is horse shit.
All right. Mom, what do you think? Do you watch any media, or Haley too? Do you guys watch any TV shows or movies or anything that the manner in which these things are produced is potentially questionable? Maybe they're even promoting ideas or philosophies that you don't agree with that are opposed to your personal beliefs. How do you reconcile it?
We don't
entire
watch it.
growing up, right? So like we kind of grew up in the 80s.
Kinda.
You watch,
I mean,
yeah, we
did.
kind of grew up in the 80s. So all of those movies, right? There's like problematic shit by today's standards.
All John
you
Hughes
know?
movies.
Yeah, I really just don't give a fuck because it's a part of kind of what molded me as a person. Those movies are
Sure.
nostalgic for me, and so it's easy for me to just kind of glaze over when, Long Duck Dong comes on the screen. Like, I just don't
But that also
care.
was a different time. It's a lot of people look back at problematic media, at least now is received as problematic, and they think, how could we have made this? Well, the answer was those movies were massively successful, and you had all kinds of problematic stuff in them because society, at least American culture at large, accepted that kind of stuff enough that studios would hemorrhage millions of dollars into these movies to get them made, and then tons of people would go see them. So even culturally, it was at least financially acceptable, But I think this question is more about modern stuff. Like our podcast is being made now, today. We can't use that thing like, well, I grew up in the 80s. This is happening now in 2024. Yes, there are some viewpoints in this that are problematic, shall we say. I'm looking at Dad. So how do you reconcile that? Anything contemporarily made?
I don't know. I mean, I guess to echo what you said, like it's you're watching it, you're listening to it. It's up to you to decide how you feel.
You guys are like way over my head or way overthinking this. Dear Lord. If you like it, you watch it. If you don't, you don't. I'm sorry we might lose Cody as a listener.
Uh-huh.
Out of our 350, or no, we've got more than that. We have more than that. But
I mean, this is essentially how I run my business. I use my platform. I've built like a total between all of the social media that I've built. I have like 90,000 people that follow me. I say what I fucking want to say. If you don't like it, don't fucking follow me.
Right.
This is true, but you've had death threats.
Make your choice.
You've had letters, bad letters sent to you. You've had death threats, all kinds of stuff. So that's
still living, still
and
alive.
And I bet, I mean, I'm just thinking you probably have lost business over it too. So when you put your platform out there, it's you got to live by it. You got to die by it. And I guess Dad and I, we only have a few years left. Who the shit cares? We say what we say. We do what we do. And if Cody doesn't like it, I'm sorry, Cody. Go find another podcast. Bye-bye.
So there you have it. The final word said by my mom. Live how you want to live. Play how you want to play. Adam's family. Let's begin our podcast now.
But one last thing.
Yeah.
Do never. Listen to me talk today. I need to start again. Don't ever half-ass anything. And I tell that to my grandkids. You better full-ass it every day, everything you do. And if people don't like that, then they're not your friends. You got to full-ass everything. And that's what I try to do in life. Your father has done it from day one. He's taught me how to do it. I probably three-quartered ass for a while. He said, it's in or out. It's in or out.
Well,
and I've learned that.
Whatever he did to Haley and I believe we are full-assing everything at all times as well. I don't know what kind of fucking deep
there is
psychological
no
abuse. Huh?
There is no try. There is no or do not. There is no try.
Yoda. Bob Yoda.
That's from Yoda.
And your
that is
father,
from Yoda.
Y'all just missed it. He had to go to the restroom. He just came back. And when he excused himself, there was a y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. I couldn't believe it.
Okay.
He gave us the whole ass.
It was a whole ass. It surely was. Right in my face almost.
Okay.
God,
let's move on to our first topic. This is a big one. Biden started his presidential campaign. Joe Biden launched his 2024 presidential campaign last Friday in Pennsylvania on the eve of the 3-year anniversary of the January 6th insurrection. In his speech, he said the value Americans place on democracy is, quote, the most urgent question of our time. He also issued an impassioned political attack on Donald Trump, saying Donald Trump's campaign is about him, not America, not you. Donald Trump's campaign is obsessed with the past, not the future. He's willing to sacrifice our democracy to put himself in power. I'm going to try and do a Biden impersonation too, by the way. Biden reminded Americans that 3 years ago, we nearly lost America. When,
it's not bad.
For the first time in our history, insurrectionists
you need to cough a little more.
Peaceful transfer of power in America, smashing windows, shattering doors, attacking the police. Outside, gallows were erected as a MAGA crowd chanted, "Hang Mike Pence." Inside, they hunted for Speaker Pelosi. He said all that. Polling has shown that while Biden is not a popular leader, democracy itself is a central issue for Americans ahead of November. A majority of Americans, including 72% of Democrats, think the outcome of the 2024 election will be extremely or very important for the future of democracy in the United States. Trump, in a response to the president's speech, called Biden the true threat to democracy, saying he is destroying our country like no one else has done before. Mom.
We're not even laughing hardly anymore, though.
Is democracy at stake in this next election, Mom?
Yes. It's got to be Trump or we're all going down.
Okay.
And you know what? One more thing. I researched and Googled this. There was one other time in history when people tried to take a president that wanted to run off the ballot. And that was the year that Lincoln ran. And there were 10 states, I think, in the South that did. So they couldn't vote for him. And guess what happened? Civil War.
Yeah. So, research Dad, that. Do you believe this next election we're seeing democracy at stake?
Absolutely. If Trump doesn't win, it's over.
All right. I have a follow-up question to that in a second, but I want to hear, Haley, what do you think is democracy at stake?
Wake up, Haley.
Frozen out. All right. So maybe she'll come back.
Wake up. Is she asleep?
No. Her computer's frozen. Her Zoom connection is frozen.
Haley.
Mom.
Haley.
She's not there.
Oh, okay.
Jesus
is this
Christ.
AI? Is this?
No.
Hey, are you there?
Her internet is glitching out or something. She'll figure it out. Okay. So both of you, your internet's freezing and freezing you out. Can you fix that or no?
Haley.
Now she can't hear us.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Now
we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. I fucking can't help it.
All right.
Where's Conrad?
Okay. let me ask you some questions. You both have said, Mom and Dad, that you believe democracy is at stake in the next election. Donald Trump, the man that you believe will save democracy, has openly tweeted that he sees himself as a dictator, and you have said that you wouldn't mind if Trump ruled America as a dictator. Do you think having a dictator would support the idea of democracy, or do you think it would be detrimental to the idea of democracy? Mom.
100%.
Go ahead.
100% it will support democracy, because you left out the biggest part. He'll be a dictator for a day.
I don't think any dictator has ever been a dictator for a day.
Oh,
I think
he
the whole
will be.
point is to never leave power.
Well, your problem is, if Joe Biden wins the election, there is no more freedom in America.
Okay.
Zero. I'd
All right.
rather have a dictator with some freedom than no dictator. Well, fuck, who are you kidding? Joe Biden's going to be a dictator via chi.
All right. So Joe Biden hasn't done that yet, though. Why do you think he would do it in a second term?
It doesn't matter. He will. He's lied about every fucking thing on planet Earth. This is going to be no different.
Did you see him the other day in a clip? He is coming back from vacation, you know, as our Americans are being held hostage
With a
somewhere.
sunburn.
With a sunburn. And they said,
after he had skin cancer.
and they said, what would you do? What would you do?
Brilliant guy.
Hang on
They
one second.
said-
I don't know. Is Kitty licking something?
She's licking my arm. Is
I
that
believe
bad?
that we're hearing the sound of it coming
Okay.
through the computer.
I'll try to get her to quit. And they said, how would you fix the border right now? A reporter yelled at him something about the border. How would you fix it? And he said,
Need more money.
they need to give me more money.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Year 3.
He's wasted so much fucking money
Okay.
down there.
Kitty, quit.
Let's get back to the question at hand. You guys are saying you think democracy is at stake, and in order to solve that, in order to save democracy,
We
you
need a
believe
hard
you need to
nosed
install a
For
dictator.
a while. We
But-
need Donald Trump kicking ass,
Okay.
and taking names for a good solid 2 to 6 months.
And to bring our country back the way it was before Biden took over.
Yes, that's the answer to your
secure-
question is fuck yes.
To secure
Okay.
the border, to get the drugs out of here, to get the bad people gone, to get the illegals.
To put Merrick Garland in prison.
What
to
in
put
your
Joe
mind
Biden
for
in
what?
prison,
What would you
Huh?
put Merrick Garland in prison for?
treason,
Okay. So
weaponizing the fucking DOJ and not
Right.
doing his fucking job.
all right, let me ask you this, Mom. In your mind,
think
what is a
actually-
democracy?
Not impeached. I think Merrick Garland should be hanged.
Okay.
Mom, in your mind, what is a democracy?
Freedom to do what you want, a country that takes care of everyone.
Where the people rule.
A country that takes care of
Okay.
everyone, not all
Where the people rule.
not
Not half of them.
8 million.
All of them.
8
And if
million.
that takes
Well,
a
Dad-
civil war to get it
Dad?
done, your DEI is going to cause a civil war, and
Okay.
it's going to be for the same fucking reason in reverse.
So you're saying that
Do you want to get on an airplane with a guy who got his job from DEI and doesn't have the qualifications to fly it?
you said
That's where we're at, Buster Brown.
Okay.
you
Buster
just
Brown.
said that
Buster Brown.
you just said that a democracy it's ruled by all of the people, not some
No,
of them.
it's ruled by the people
Right.
that are in the majority. And we
Okay.
are the majority, and we will
Right.
rule this fucking country.
So a
And you-
dictatorship is a society ruled by one person for
That's
their
right.
own personal gain.
That's
That is
right.
not a democracy. It's the opposite
That
of
is
what you
not
just
Donald Trump.
defined.
That is not Donald Trump either.
He has
So you
openly
brought
said
out-
he wants to be a dictator.
No, he said for a few days so he can clean out the fucking rat's nest.
He
Okay.
did, Chad.
He
Yeah.
did. You don't even fit. You don't
Okay,
even
th-
you're
name
just
me a
like all
dictator in the
other
history of
fucking
humanity
social media.
who-
Yelling.
You cut out what you don't fucking like.
Name
You're
me a dictator.
horse's ass.
Like to let the
Bull ass.
people that are in jail out that shouldn't even be there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
how about
you
that?
guys are saying
3
you believe
years.
he will be a dictator for a couple of days, and then what?
Then he will turn it over to the people. He will reverse everything Joe Biden did, which is what his half of the country wants him to do. You dumb fucker.
Okay.
Okay. You need to chill.
I'm
Haley-
getting sick and tired of this shit. 'Cause
What
it's
shit? Having a conversation about it?
No, yeah, you bring up the same fucking conversation over and over and over and over and over, and it never fucking changes.
This is not the same
and
conversation.
I'm never gonna fucking change. So let's just drop the crap.
Well, okay. Haley, you said you believe that
I'm tired of this fucking whole deal.
this is at will. He cannot do this if he wants to. Haley, you said that you also believe democracy is at stake in the next election. I assume from the opposite position, that if Trump wins and becomes a dictator, in fact, that would mean democracy is over.
Correct. That is correct.
Do you think it's already over?
I mean, in essence, the Supreme Court can fucking overturn anything. And so, I mean, so Colorado kept him off the ballot. Now it's being taken to the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
we all know what's going to happen. And so I feel like everything is a lost fucking cause at this point. Abortion is getting ready to be like fucking overturned federally. Donald Trump in office 100% means no abortions ever for any fucking reason anywhere. So I feel like the Supreme Court has really fucked us over, and I don't know where we go from there. I don't know.
Oh, so you know the law better than the Supreme Court.
What did you say?
She said the Supreme Court has fucked us over, so she obviously knows more about constitutional law than they do.
I mean, it's not knowing about constitutional law. It's about the fucking majority. And the majority of fucking Americans want to legalize abortion.
Yeah, that's true. So the one thing that you're saying about what Dad was saying, that he believes the democracy is about the majority, the people making the rules. The majority of people want gun control and want abortion to be legal. Are you okay with that?
If they get their legal rights, sure. But they didn't. Supreme Court told them to go fuck a cow.
But that's not the majority. The Supreme Court is ruling.
Your majority comes from New York and California, which to me, that's 2 votes out of 50.
Okay.
Which means they do not.
So you don't believe, like a general population, you don't believe saying we have 300 million people in America.
I believe in electoral college.
Okay, so not the majority then.
Electoral college is the majority.
Right now, that's the way.
It literally isn't.
Oh, yes, it
that's
is.
The way
past
our government.
2 Republican presidents who have won did not win the popular majority vote.
God damn, quit arguing with fucking facts. I'm sick of it.
I'm telling you facts.
Yeah, the electoral college dictates the president based on the majority of the people in those states.
Right now, that's the way
it's not the majority of the people in those states. It's based on districts.
You don't win. So blow it out your ass and quit trying to push that down my throat.
You have it wrong, though. It's not based on majority. It's based on who wins certain counties. And we had this whole conversation a few weeks ago. Gerrymandering.
But then it comes down to
that was his argument. Fuck you.
I just did a brief Google search.
You get your fucking gun and let's go to war.
What? Please.
I just did a brief Google search, and it says that 78% of Texas, based on various polls, there's numerous.
Oh, she glitched out when she was giving us the important information. All right, let's move on to topic number 2. While Haley's computer is trying to come back.
4 different fucking sources here. 7 abortion on some level. However,
we heard almost
Greg
none
Abbott.
Of that.
What?
We heard almost none of that because you glitched out.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me right now? I did a brief Google search, and all of these, there's 3 or 4 sources. They're all the same exact fucking sentiment. They said, "Mom, your whole ass is in the photo." It said 78% of Texans want to legalize abortion on some level. Okay. But Greg Abbott has basically outlawed abortion in Texas. So the majority doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Hello? Any response to that, Mom or Dad?
I don't know. I don't know right now.
The face of facts. A full we don't care and retraction. Let's move on to our second topic. Now, this topic is one that, Mom, you sent in to me.
God.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So you sent me a link, and I'm going to ask you some questions about this. I'm going to read the entire article. This is gonna
Don't
be.
have to read the entire
Yes, I do.
article. 'Cause
Yes,
look,
I
got-
absolutely do.
Look.
Okay, I'm gonna read.
Okay.
My mom has a giant stack of papers here. I'm gonna read this entire article as you sense it to me. This is maybe about double the length of the little intros I do to the other news pieces, so bear with me. But I think it's important to hear everything this article says. This is what you sent me. This is written by Daniel Monroe for MSN.com. All of this that I'm reading, again, verbatim, what was in this article.
You don't have to read it all.
Yes, I do. A bizarre
Why?
because I need
God, let him fucking read it so he'll shut up. Jesus.
A bizarre conspiracy theory about Michelle Obama being a man is once again doing the rounds, having been first started by comedian Joan Rivers several years ago. An unsubstantiated rumor alleging that Michelle Obama was born a man is circulating after Tucker Carlson uploaded a video to Twitter in which he interviewed someone who claimed to know Barack Obama in the past and made a number of serious claims about the former president. While the outlandish claim is yet to reach the majority of people online, a small but vocal corner of Twitter is once again peddling the rumor that Michelle Obama is a transgender woman who was born with the genetics of a man. This theory belongs to a wider conspiracy, which alleges that Michelle's husband Barack is gay, despite the fact that neither of the former White House residents have ever claimed to be anything other than heterosexual and cisgender. Why Barack's sexuality should count as anything more than a footnote in his biography is not clear, though certain figures online appear to believe that if he were to be gay or if Michelle was transgender, it would somehow delegitimize his past presidential stint. Though it may have been a conspiracy theory you have encountered various times online, it remains a largely internet-based theory, and neither Barack nor Michelle has ever publicly addressed the claims. It's believed that the jokes about Michelle being a man first originated from, or at least were made popular by, late comedian Joan Rivers. In a short clip that's gone viral several times in the years since, Rivers could be heard asserting that Barack was gay whilst using a slur used to describe transgender people when talking about Michelle. The interaction this clip derived from was a brief interaction the press had with Rivers on the street in 2014 when they asked her if a gay person or woman could become president, and given that she was best known for her outrageous comedy career, one can assume that her jibe at the Obamas was an example of her dark humor rather than a genuine claim. Nonetheless, several people online do seem to genuinely believe these claims about the Obamas. Needless to say, there's no apparent truth to the claims about Michelle being a man or Barack being gay. As you are likely aware, the pair have had 2 children together, Molly and Sasha, both of whom Michelle gave birth to, a feat that would have been near impossible if she had been born with a male reproductive system. Sadly, however, some people have alluded to the fact that the Obamas underwent IVF treatment in order to conceive their daughters, as if that helps to substantiate the claim that Michelle is transgender. This is a simple case of misinformation, perhaps spread with a rather grim ulterior motive, as IVF is a completely legitimate assisted reproductive technology that is used by thousands of couples across the world every year, and it does absolutely nothing to legitimize any false claims about Michelle's sex or gender. End quote. Mom, you sent me that. This article says it's a bullshit rumor that Michelle Obama is a man and that it is not true. You sent me this article.
I sent you several. I sent you several.
That's the only
I sent
link
you
that was
another
in that email.
one.
You sent me the video of her dancing on Ellen, where a fold in her pants, which is clearly not a penis, and you're saying that it is.
Okay, here we go. These are the things that I saw.
Hang on. Before we move on.
Yeah, that one says
you sent me this article.
No. And
why would you send me this article?
I
Did you
wondered
read the
why
article?
you wanted to read all that. I didn't read it till the very end, the end part. I wondered why you were going to read it all.
The whole article is talking about how it's a baseless rumor on the internet.
Okay. Well,
see what he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't even
Started by, but wait, it was started by Joan Rivers.
Finish her goddamn story. And shut your fucking mouth.
Jesus Christ! All right, finish your goddamn story. I'll shut my.
Well, he picked the only fucking article that is positive.
That's the article Mom sent me. That's literally the link she sent me. Yeah, it is true. I have the emails.
I sent. Okay.
She sent you.
I should have sent you these.
You didn't.
Why'd you pick that one, asshole?
That's the only link that was in the email she sent me.
Okay. I should have maybe sent you some of these others, but what I'm trying to say is too, I don't know. I'm leaning both ways. I've read a lot of stuff both ways.
What's the stuff you've read in the other direction?
Here's the points.
Okay.
Number one, the chef that just died. It was Obama's chef. Tafari Campbell was his name. He died just recently, and let's see. Within days, the police had ruled the death as an accident, stonewalling any questioning from the media about the mysterious identity of the eyewitness in the case and why he was characterized as not being a great swimmer, despite social media videos of him showing off his very good swimming skills. There was a mysterious blank in the police calls that night on the logs. The only call that wasn't logged in that night was the call reporting his drowning. Now, supposedly he was his chef and he was gay, and, the theory is murdered. Number 2, Michelle Obama's mother died in, let me see what the date was and what year it was. I have this down.
Just so we have some overview context here, these things you're telling us now, are these just other conspiracy theories, or do these link back to the Michelle Obama being a man link you sent me?
They link kind of back to her and kind of to him being gay and her being a trans.
Okay, let me ask you then. Let's say that that's true. How would that affect anything?
Just that there are conspiracy theories out there, and you have got to you've got to decide on your own, I guess.
All right. Sorry.
Number 2,
Yeah,
Michelle
please,
Obama's mother dies, leaves an inheritance too, and this was all over the internet.
And it was
left
in
it
the obituary.
left it to my son Michael. And the obituary goes on. She went peacefully in her sleep, blah, 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 in Chicago. This was in the state of Illinois. It clearly states that her possession should go to my son, Michael Robinson Obama, because in Illinois, a person can't legally change their gender. So for her to inherit that or to have gotten anything, she had to say she was a man.
Okay.
And not come out. Now, since then, in July 1 of 2023, that law has changed, and you can come out and change your gender by signing a statement and affirming what you are.
Yeah, but
so
even
that's all over the web too.
Okay, let's say it's all true.
Let me go on. The kids,
right.
You did bring up the IVF, the way that you can have assisted reproduction outside the body. The sperm, the egg gets fertilized, then put back into someone else. When I pulled this up, there are 2 people's names that came up. One is Anita Blanchard and Martin Nesmith. These 2 people were friends of both the Obamas. They are a married couple. They were very close friends back in the days of Chicago. When I pulled their picture up, I went, holy moly. So the theory is that is the 2 kids' mother and father, that Michelle Obama never had babies.
Okay.
That she is a man.
Let's say it's all true. Who cares?
I'm just going through my list. Number 4 is right. Number 4 is the Rivers thing, where they're saying that her clip, which I did send that to you, did I not?
Not in that first email.
Oh dear God!
There's a cutoff time of 6 p.m. on Saturday night so that I can get these documents out to you guys and start producing them. Anything you sent me after that could not be included. I told you this. The only thing that I received from you before that time.
New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I'm so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't show.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
No, Michelle is a.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We saw the clip. So that's where you're getting your news from, is Joan Rivers? A clip
that says
from 2014.
She went in. She said that Michelle is a trans, and then I think it was 2.5 weeks later she was dead. She went in for a very simple procedure and never came out alive.
How old was
The
she?
Ellen dance video shows her junk. That's circulated all over the internet. She's
doesn't, though.
dancing and swaying, and there her junk's going.
It isn't that, though. It's very clearly just a fold in her pants.
Okay, that's what you believe. Then the really,
I mean, that's what it is.
Okay, that's what you believe. Then when I really started digging, this kind of really creeped me out. There's a guy named Larry Sinclair, and he supposedly had sex 2 times with Barack Obama. Tucker Carlson had interviewed him, and they'd also done drugs together. So he came out with a book. Larry Sinclair was going to out another man named Don Young, who was the director of Trinity Church that Barack Obama attended a long time ago. Barack Obama knew that guy for like, I think several years, like maybe 30 years. Don Young ends up dead in 2007 with a bullet in his head in Chicago, in an apartment. They don't know why. Larry Sinclair ends up dead with a hit and run car accident in 2011. That's like, no one knows who did that.
You're talking about sexualities and genders and stuff like this. And to you, this is the big smoking gun. This proves in some way that the Obamas are evil. Yet the same kind of stuff for Trump, you completely overlook. Trump having sex with prostitutes while his wife is pregnant, paying hush money to all these women he sexually assaulted. You don't care about any of that. But Michelle Obama being transgender and Barack Obama being gay, a completely baseless conspiracy theory, you're hanging your whole worldview on it seems like.
I'm not hanging a worldview on that. All I'm saying is I'd like to know the truth, and all these people being killed. Why?
But why in this case do you want to know the truth?
But has Trump killed anybody like this? No, these are in books, and go to Amazon. You can buy the book that Larry Sinclair made, the book that outs Don Young.
Well,
so
what about Trump and all the Epstein shit that just came out?
Yeah,
he was exonerated. He wasn't on that list.
Trump was on New York. Trump flew from New York to Florida. Never went to the island. Never went to the island.
There was a correspondence though where they have someone underage on a plane and they're flying to Atlanta or something, and they said, "Let's call up Trump and have a party." Did you not see that part?
No, I didn't. All I saw that people wanted Trump to be on that so bad, and he's not. The only thing Trump ever did was fly interstate on his airplane.
His whole family
Hillary Clinton, how about that? That name starts popping up all of a sudden. And Bill Clinton, both of them went to the island several times. So,
yeah.
And who are all the other people on the list? But it's funny
Obama's
that
not on the list.
You guys wanted Trump
Joe
on there
Biden's
so bad,
not on the
and
list.
he's not. Well, Biden, that's funny.
Okay.
He does other things with children.
Speaking of Trump and Biden, let's have our little simmer down. I was curious about this. If Trump and Biden were not running this year, let's say they both die tomorrow, who would you want to vote for, Mom?
Wow, I don't know. There's no one else out there good. There's no one.
Whoever the GOP is.
There's no one good. I don't know.
You would not vote?
No, I would vote, but I would have to wait to see who's out there. There's no one else out there. Tucker Carlson, I'd vote for him.
Okay.
What?
Dad?
Who would you vote for?
None of his business.
Oh, Dad said none of your business.
That's literally the purpose of this show, is we talk about our political ideology.
He's so mad. He is
about
so
what?
mad.
What is he mad about?
I have no idea.
He's just sitting there stewing.
He needs to go take a nap.
Haley, if Biden dies tomorrow, who are you voting for?
I think in like my little happy world, I would love to vote for AOC.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You going from dumb to
Oh Lord.
Okay.
We better stop this right now.
39. All right. Well, that was a quick one. I would vote for whoever obviously the Democratic candidate is, because we only have a two-party system in this country. But if I had my choice of anyone, I would vote for myself. Our next topic is the national debt hits a new high. Last Tuesday, the U.S. Treasury Department issued a report outlining U.S. finances, which revealed that the federal government's gross national debt has surpassed $34 trillion, a record high that is accruing $2 billion a day in interest, which means the debt is growing faster than the economy. And if every U.S. citizen pitched in to pay it off, every one of us would owe $101,000. Republican lawmakers in the White House agreed last June to temporarily lift the nation's debt limit, staving off the risk of what would be a historic default. That agreement lasts until January 2025. The debt grew faster than expected because of the multi-year pandemic starting in 2020 that saw both the Trump and Biden administrations borrowing heavily to stabilize the economy and support a recovery. But the rebound came with a surge of inflation that pushed up interest rates and made it more expensive for the government to pay its debts. In the decades to come, this debt might put plans like Social Security and Medicare at risk, and other national security programs as well, including Medicare. Sorry, I just had that in there doubly. Foreign buyers of U.S. debt like China, Japan, South Korea, and European nations have already cut down on their holdings of Treasury notes. Both Democrats and Republicans have called for debt reduction, but they disagree on the appropriate means of doing so. The Biden administration has been pushing for tax hikes on the wealthy and corporations to reduce budget deficits. Biden also increased the budget for the IRS so that it can collect unpaid taxes and possibly reduce the debt by hundreds of billions of dollars over 10 years. Republican lawmakers have called for large cuts to non-defense government programs and the repeal of clean energy tax credits and spending passed in the Inflation Reduction Act. But Republicans also want to trim Biden's IRS funding and cut taxes further, which would both cause the debt to worsen. Mom, does this worry you at all? Does it mean anything to you?
Yes, we can't keep going like this. We will collapse.
Dad,
Due to Biden.
Is Dad still there?
He's there.
Dad, does this worry you at all?
Does it worry you, Bob? He's like,
He's checked out. He's being a child.
he won't answer.
Haley, does it worry you at all?
Yeah, I mean, talking about cutting Social Security, everything that people have worked for, you know, when you retire, you want to know that you're taken care of, and it's been like a guarantee for all of these decades. So yeah, it's a big fucking concern.
All right.
Biden's going to raise the age limit.
He's got to,
What?
if he's going to talk, he has to be a little bit closer to the mic.
Oh, I can talk to you.
He said Biden is going to raise the age limit to Social Security, so
See, Social Security's not
we
gonna
won't get it.
that.
Social Security won't get cut. Dad doesn't think.
All right. What do you think is the solution to this debt, Mom?
Shoot Joe Biden between the eyes.
Jesus. Get rid of Biden. Get a different person in there.
Mm-hmm. Trump also drove the debt up.
Not like this.
Because of COVID.
He started this increase that we have now.
COVID.
Dad's yelling because of COVID.
Well, it doesn't
COVID
matter.
hit.
You can blame it on whatever you want to blame it on. The guy who was in the president's chair is the one who started this. It's both Biden
spends
and Trump.
So much money that doesn't need to be spent. I don't agree with you there. If Trump was our president, we would not be this much in debt.
He was the one who started this debt.
Yeah,
but if he was now for the last 3 years, it wouldn't go.
Okay.
This bad.
Haley, what do you think the solution is?
How much debt? What did you say?
34 trillion.
He's laughing.
I don't know. How many 1%ers are there? Like, how many people have just, you know, enough money that they could fucking end it? Enough, right?
None.
I mean,
there's not enough.
You need, like, I mean, you're talking about 34 trillion. There's trillionaire doesn't even exist. There's not a human being who even has $1 trillion. We owe 34 of those.
Yeah, there's no digging out of it at this point.
No.
Well, like I said, to pay it off, every person in America would have to pay $100,000 basically. I believe it's people 18 or over, United States citizens, voting age, you know?
Right.
Right. Let me ask you this, Mom. I think I already know the answer to this. I know how this is going to go. But to Dad, too, if he's still in the room and not somewhere else, I don't know what's happening with him. But who do you think is worse with the budget, Democrats or Republicans?
Democrats. Always have been. They give away free money all the time. They give it to other countries.
The people who can't vote.
Let's give it to Ukraine. Let's give it to Ukraine. Let's give it to Iran.
Republicans give foreign aid as well.
Not to illegal aliens, I don't think, and open the border and all that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Haley, who do you think is worse with the budget, Democrats or Republicans?
I mean, I feel like they're equally as bad.
I do too.
I think they're both terrible.
I agree. I don't have a bias here. I think it's just a bad situation. This is also kind of where we are in late stage capitalism, where this debt is never going away. It's only going to get bigger until you have financial collapse, ultimately, of the American economy. And then I don't know what that does to the global economy. Nothing good, I'm sure. But the fractional lending system. What do you say?
It'll put you out of business.
How does it put Chad out of business?
There's no capitalism. There's no reason for podcasts. There's no advertising.
No reason for podcasts.
I said at the top of this, we're doing this podcast for no money.
Yeah, we are. That's true.
Yeah,
we're doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
How many others do it for
Haley
free?
told me I need to get on TikTok and do, what is it, Haley? Fill-ups, or what's it called? What'd you call it?
The restocks.
Restocks.
You know what?
Because Dad has really bad OCD. I said buy some really aesthetic containers and have Dad just like restock.
Talking to inferior intelligence.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
the problem.
And then I could
can't
like
talk, speaking of inferior intelligence, everything he's saying cannot be heard because he's not near the mic.
if you want
It's
to
mumbling
talk.
in the background.
I don't want to talk to him.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
never talking to him.
Oh dear God.
He's never
yeah,
talking
so
to me. Why is he throwing this weird switch right now?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Because he started off with your podcast, making it against me.
Because you were making my
That's
podcast
the
against
link.
me.
I literally verbatim read the exact link you sent me.
I shouldn't
I'm
have
not
sent
making
that
anything. Well, that's
So I
why
sent the
my
wrong
question was,
one.
did you even read the article? Or did you just Google for a headline that matched what you wanted and send me the headline?
You could have been nice to your mother and said, "Are you sure this is the one you want
He's
sent?"
an asshole.
Why? You sent me the link. That's not my job to read it and be like, wait a minute.
Guess what?
This is actually against what my mom thinks is real. I'm like, why
Guess
did you send
what?
it to me? This is insane. Yeah.
I wondered why you wanted to read every word verbatim.
Yeah.
So now you will never get another link from me. Never. You guess what? You didn't get no. Hush. You didn't have my back now, did you? Did ya?
I said to you, if you want to have a topic, send me a link. You
accidentally
sent me the link. I put the whole
Guess
fucking
what?
link in. The whole ass link.
I accidentally 3/4 it ass, and you took it line and sinker to take me down. You didn't have my back.
Take you down. I read the thing you sent me.
You took me down.
Then we could have a discussion about it. Dad stormed off and didn't want to be part of the discussion. You're doing the same kind of thing now. That's like, I'll never send you another link again.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's not my choice.
You just killed the podcast.
Dad said you killed the podcast.
By reading the exact link you sent me?
Yeah.
You making fun of me that I sent you the wrong link.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm saying even the thing you sent me to try and corroborate your belief is saying that belief isn't real.
What belief?
The belief that Michelle Obama is a man, transgender, or whatever.
It couldn't be.
You have to make up your own mind.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to our final topic. I don't know if Dad can still hear me wherever he is. We're talking about DeSantis and Haley's town halls. Last Thursday, Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis tried to convince Iowa Republican voters that former President Donald Trump isn't a lock to win the nomination.
About anything.
What's he
The shit
saying?
coming out of his mouth has no value towards anything.
He thinks that's a stupid topic.
Okay, well, we're going to do it anyway.
Waste of fucking time on planet Earth.
What topic does he want to talk about?
I have no idea.
We'll do whatever topic you want, Dad, right now. What do you want to talk about?
We're going to shut down the podcast.
Shut down the what?
He gonna shut down the podcast. I do think.
Does he have a
Nikki
topic
Haley-
that he wants to talk about?
Shit, no.
All right,
I
then
do-
let me read this, and
Okay,
we
but-
can get into it.
Okay.
The two address the usual issues of taxes, abortion, and of course Trump, with each making their cases that Trump's legal battles could hurt the party's efforts to defeat Joe Biden in the general election. but both were careful not to criticize Trump over the specifics of the indictments he faces in federal court, as well as in Georgia and New York, but they portrayed him as a candidate whose personal drama would doom the GOP. Haley said, chaos follows him, and we can't have a country in disarray and a world on fire and go through 4 more years of chaos. We won't survive it. The town hall took place merely hours after a school shooting in Perry, Iowa, in which a middle school student was killed and 5 others were injured. DeSantis was asked how, in the light of the attack, he would address the issue of gun violence at schools without limiting gun rights. DeSantis referred to gun reforms passed by his predecessor, GOP Governor Rick Scott, in the weeks after the February 2018 Parkland, Florida shooting, in which a gunman killed 17 people. That legislation raised the age limit for buying firearms from 18 to 21 and increased the waiting period to 3 days. Haley focused her answer on mental health and security. Asked if she supports any restrictions on guns, Haley said she is a concealed weapons permit holder and doesn't support restricting people's abilities to protect themselves. Did you watch any of these town halls, Mom and Dad, or Mom?
No,
Is Dad
No, I
still
did-
there? Is he not?
no, he's not here.
Haley, did you watch any of them?
No, I have not.
Am I the only one watching this shit? So, all right, you guys get up my ass for like, "The liberal agenda, you don't fucking do." I'm the only one watching the fucking Republican town halls out of anyone in this goddamn podcast.
To me, those are meaningless because neither one of them are going to be anybody. The only reason they're still out there spewing their guts is so that the people that have given them money, that they can still get that money and go do, go do stuff. Yeah,
and
flying
then they
around.
can sell a book about it or whatever.
Right.
They can enrich themselves after
So
this. But
neither one of them will be a VP. Neither one of them will be our president. I think it's a waste of time.
but that's
And
not what that game is anymore. That
What is it?
used to be how it worked. When you are running for president, you truly want to be president and think you can
Uh-huh.
be and should be and have good ideas and whatever. Now it's a fucking reality show. It's how long can you stay on this reality show to get your Instagram numbers up and sell a book or a reality show about yourself or whatever. That's what they're in this for. Stay in
Right.
front of the camera as long as you can. That's the game.
Right. Right.
So whether they can win or not is immaterial. I was just curious if you watched any of it because, again, whether they win or not, whether they even have a chance to win or not,
Mhm.
Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis are going to be major figures in the Republican Party for at least the next decade.
Nah, I don't think so.
They will be
What's
some-
Nikki Haley going to do? DeSantis may be governor, yeah, but what's Nikki Haley going to do?
Anything she wants. Run for any of these political offices that she wants to.
I don't know. I don't think so. I
Okay.
think it's a waste of time. That's why I didn't watch him. Now,
Now-
if Trump was debating Biden, yeah, I'd watch that. I hope he does. But they won't let Biden debate. So,
They aren't letting Trump debate either.
no,
No.
Trump isn't letting himself on there yet. I
Well,
think he will. I think
Then-
he will.
Wait a minute,
Dan.
wait a minute. You think Trump is the one who's making the decision to not debate, but you don't think Biden is making that decision?
That's right.
That's right.
Interesting. Do you think? I mean, the Iowa caucuses are next week. I think literally a week from this episode will come out on Monday. So a week from the airing of this episode begins the Republicans' first attempts to try and determine who their lawful nominee is going to be. Do you think Trump is going to sweep every state?
Yes.
Yes.
Haley, do you?
I don't know. Probably not. Not every state. No.
Yeah. You don't think like DeSantis can win Florida? The state where he's the governor?
No.
No, he's behind.
Way
Interesting.
behind. Have
All
you
right.
not been looking at the polls? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking at the polls. I don't really trust polls anymore after a poll said that all polls said that Hillary Clinton was going to win the presidential election by a landslide.
Right.
Polls are meaningless.
Points off.
That is what
that
we're
was
on.
Was that the night you cried with your friends?
Are you talking to me?
Both of you.
I didn't cry.
Did you cry, Haley?
No. I
Okay.
will say I didn't sleep for a while.
Yeah, a couple
I will
years.
say that I was in like a pretty like a catatonic kind of depression for a little while.
Yeah.
To me, that was the night that democracy ended in America. And I don't think we're living in one now. I don't think we ever will again. It's just going to be what form does this government take? is it a more like what we have now in Biden's administration, where it's like we can all lie to ourselves and say that it's a democracy still, and democracy won, we course corrected, ha 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 ha? Or is it going to be more like in your face authoritarian Donald Trump, like imprisoning political opponents and stuff like that, more like Russia, basically?
I don't know. I'm getting scared. Not scared.
Yeah.
If Trump wins, I'll be fine. But if he doesn't, I'm going to be very scared where we're going.
Let me ask you this. Would this scare you? If Trump wins and he immediately jails, I don't know what he's saying back there, but if Trump wins and immediately puts in prison, let's say the top 5 political opponents he has, throws Biden in jail, throws Pelosi in jail, you guys would be okay with that?
Yes.
I'd support it.
And he needs to release everyone that's in prison over January 6th because that's so stupid. Yes.
Okay.
And Dad was saying if Trump does not win, then he and I will live like we're dying. We're spending every cent we have.
To do what?
We will, I don't know, live like we're dying, do everything every day, spend lots of money, do lots of crazy
Why don't you do that
stuff.
now? That would be fun. Why not do it now?
Because then that wouldn't leave you any inheritance for starters. But
what does that have to do with anything? So wait a minute. If Trump loses, fuck the inheritance, but now you're thinking about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not sure that I follow the logic here, but
I'd
say you live every day like you're dying, because you are. All of us are. That's what living is.
Nice. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I would like to move to a foreign country, but your father wouldn't. So that
Where
won't
would you
work.
go? What
Somewhere in
foreign country do you have to pick
Mexico.
up?
Somewhere in Mexico with my
That'd be
friends that
interesting.
live there.
All right.
I have
But
friends
Dad
that
won't
live-
do it.
He might,
You guys would
warming
go
up to
south
it.
of the border wall?
where it's safe. Yep. It is safe
Wait a
down
minute.
there.
The why? Oh my God. So
I am so confused.
yeah, you
Not
guys are
with
like, there's
illegals.
millions of illegal immigrants trying to come through our southern
No.
border, but it's safe down there.
In the United States, though, they're not going to Mexico.
That's right. They're all coming this way. We'll go that way. Ha ha.
All right. Well, that's our show. Thank you
God.
everyone for joining us. Sorry,
Jesus.
my dad checked out at some point, became so enraged over the conversation that we have basically every week that he stormed off and refused to talk to us ever again. But nonetheless, we must end the show like we end all shows. Dad, wherever you are, I love you. Thank you for your time and for indulging at least some of the conversation today. Mom, I love you. Haley, I love you.
Mom, I love you. Dad, I love you. Chad, I love you. If you guys haven't watched it already, check out the movie Foe on Prime. Paul Mescal, Saoirse Ronan. It's pretty good.
What's it about?
Takes place in 2065. The world is on fire, and there's a new development where we have created an artificial planet. And the government wants to send people to kind of see if it's doable for the foreseeable future.
That sounds pretty cool. I'll
Interesting.
check that out.
Okay, Chad, I love you. Haley, I love you. Bob, I love you.
He's
Hello.
remaining silent. Is he there?
He looks.
Podcast.
What'd he say?
You're gonna say it. Where are you? I can't even find you.
Barely. Do you guys get love now? And I love you, Marilyn. You guys are on the edge of none.
No love from Dad. All right.
Right?
If you want to send in your question to this podcast, just record a 1 minute or shorter audio clip and send it to the thenecessaryconversationpod@gmail.com, and we'll tune in next week to see if Haley and I can get our dad's love again.
You're on the edge. You're on the edge.
I'm on the edge where I gotta be. Thank you everyone
Okay.
for joining us. We will see you
God
next
damn.
week.
Oh Lord.
Hang on.
Hang up.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.